Okay, let's unpack this. We're diving deep into something you see, well, everywhere now, Pilates.
It's huge.
It really is super popular. People praise it for, strength, flexibility, that mind-body thing.
Right.
But with all that buzz comes maybe some confusion, lots of assumptions that might not quite hit the mark.
Definitely. Lots of myths floating around.
Exactly. And you, our listeners, sent in a whole stack of material, articles, notes you'd gathered specifically about Pilates.
Yeah, great stuff to work with.
So our mission today is pretty straightforward. Take a deep dive into all that, separate the fact from the fiction, and really pull out the key insights, get a clear picture of what Pilates actually is, what it offers, and cut through some of that noise.
Absolutely. It's so easy to hear things like, oh, it's just for dancers, or it's basically stretching, and get completely the wrong idea.
Right.
And the material you shared gives us a really solid, evidence-based look at these common ideas. We're going to try and move past those surface takes.
Get to the core truths.
Exactly. The core truths of Joseph Pilates' method. We'll look at, who it's really for, how tough it can actually be, what it genuinely works in the body, stuff like that.
Okay, sounds good. Let's jump right in then. One of the first big things the material cleared up for me was this comparison we always hear. Pilates versus yoga. Some people kind of treat them as interchangeable. What did the sources say there?
Yeah, that's a super common one. And look, both practices definitely aim to connect the mind, body, spirit, right?
Sure.
But the material really spells out some key differences. Yoga obviously has these deep spiritual roots, goes back thousands of years.
Ancient practice.
Whereas Pilates is much newer, early 20th century.
Right.
And it was specifically designed as a system for, rehab and fitness.
And the breathing's different too, yeah. I think one article mentioned Pilates uses nose in, mouth out.
That's right, specific breathing pattern. And beyond that, the main focus is a bit different too. Pilates put a really strong emphasis on spine alignment, engaging those deep core muscles. While yoga often has maybe a broader focus, overall strength, flexibility, moving through sequences of poses, the asanas.
So overlaps for sure, but definitely not the same thing. Joseph Pilates even studied yoga, didn't he?
He did, yeah, but he created something distinct. They're not interchangeable.
Got it. So distinct origins, different focus. Okay, what about another persistent one the material hit on? The idea that Pilates is only for women.
Oh yeah, this one. It's totally untrue. And kind of ironic, actually, when you look at the history.
How so?
Well, Pilates was created by a man, Joseph Pilates. And originally, he developed it for men, including prisoners of war during World War I.
Wow, really?
Yeah, to help them stay physically conditioned while they were confined. And Joseph himself was a serious athlete, a bodybuilder, boxer, gymnast, dancer.
So the whole idea that it's somehow too easy or too girly for men just doesn't hold water at all, looking at where it came from.
Not at all. And the material pointed out, recently it's become really popular with top male athletes. Names like LeBron James, Kobe Bryant, Tiger Woods came up.
Why them specifically?
Because it builds that specific blend of strength, flexibility, core stability that's, crucial for performance. And it's fantastic for injury prevention. It's just a really versatile method, benefits everyone, all genders.
Which kind of leads nicely into the next common thought, that Pilates is easy or related, maybe not a real workout.
Yes. This is where the material we looked at really pushes back hard. Yes, Pilates is low impact on the joints, definitely.
Which is a plus for many people.
A huge plus. But low impact does not mean easy, not at all. It demands really precise technique, intense concentration, and total control over every single movement to get the benefit.
That control aspect seems key. Didn't Joseph Pilates call it something else originally?
He did. He called it contrology. Precisely for that reason, to hammer home how central control and precision are to the method.
I remember reading in one source that the slow, controlled movements can actually feel harder than faster stuff. It really requires deep engagement.
Absolutely. They force you to work muscles you might not usually hit. And you have to deliberately, mindfully engage specific groups, especially those deep core muscles.
Right.
And the material confirms this deep work targets pretty much all muscle groups. It improves strength, sure, and toning, but also posture, flexibility, endurance, coordination, balance.
It's comprehensive?
Very. It focuses on functional movement, efficient body mechanics. It's not about lifting super heavy or high impact. It's about effectively strengthening the whole body without strain. A lot of people underestimate how intense it is until they try it properly.
So definitely a real workout.
No question.
Okay, so not easy, definitely a workout. What about the perception that it's only useful for rehabilitation?
Right. Well, Pilates is used very effectively for rehab. That's definitely part of its history, helping people like dancers recover. But the sources make it clear its use goes way beyond just rehab. It's a powerful tool for preventing injuries in the first place. Exactly. And it's used for athletic conditioning, even at elite levels. And honestly, it's just a fantastic way for pretty much anyone to enhance their overall fitness.
It sounds incredibly adaptable then.
It really is. The exercises can be modified significantly for different fitness levels, total beginners, top athletes, everyone in between.
And for different goals too.
Yeah, you can tailor it for specific goals, physical needs, whether you're recovering from something, training for a marathon, or just want to, move better and feel stronger in daily life.
All right, let's tackle the big one, the one that seems to come up constantly. Pilates is the fast track to a six-pack.
The abs myth. Yes, everyone wants the six-pack, right?
Seems like it.
And look, Pilates does strengthen the core. Profoundly, no doubt about it. But framing it only as an ab exercise or just a core workout really misses the whole point. And apparently, according to one source, it drives Pilates teachers crazy.
I can imagine. So what's the bigger picture then?
While it definitely tones the abs, its main goal is much more foundational. It's about improving overall body stability, mobility, alignment through that strong functional core.
So what is it working beyond just those surface abs, the ones people see?
This is where the material gets really interesting. It targets the deep core muscles.
Okay, like what?
Muscles like the transverse abdominis, that deep corset muscle, the pelvic floor, internal obliques, the diaphragm. These are absolutely crucial for supporting your spine, over your whole body, actually.
And that helps with?
Significantly reducing back pain, for one. Maintaining proper posture. These deep muscles work together like a natural stabilizer, creating a solid base for literally all movement.
So it's function first.
Exactly. Building functional strength, toning the whole body from the inside out, not just about the visible abs.
That's a really crucial distinction. Function as much as form. Okay, next myth. You need special, probably expensive equipment to do Pilates.
Yeah, this is another barrier for some people, I think. The equipment looks pretty unique, kind of intimidating, maybe?
The reformer, the Cadillac.
Right. And those machines are definitely integral to the full Pilates system. They offer unique benefits, different kinds of resistance and challenge.
But are they essential to start?
That's the key.
Yeah.
The material made it really clear that the basic exercises, the core principles, can be done entirely on a mat with zero equipment.
Just using your own body weight for resistance.
Exactly. Your body provides the resistance. And the mat exercises can be modified up or down depending on your level.
So the equipment adds dimensions, but isn't required.
Precisely. It enhances the workout, adds variety, but you absolutely don't need it to start practicing Pilates effectively and seeing results.
That's good to know. Makes it more accessible. Okay, how about the idea that Pilates is basically just stretching?
Another common one. And while, yes, stretching is definitely part of it, it's not the main event, not by a long shot.
So what else is happening?
The material highlighted that Pilates is much more comprehensive. It seamlessly weaves together stretching with strength work, control, coordination. It's all happening at once.
How does that work?
Those controlled movements demand engagement from multiple muscle groups simultaneously. So you're building muscular strength and endurance at the same time as you're improving flexibility.
So it's not just passively holding a stretch, like trying to touch your toes.
Right. Flexibility often improves a lot, yeah. But Pilates is equally focused on proper alignment, developing really sharp body awareness and strengthening that mind-body connection. It's holistic.
Oh, okay. What about this one? Pilates is boring.
Well, the material suggested pretty much the opposite, actually.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it's often described as dynamic and engaging precisely because it requires so much focus, that concentration, that precision.
It keeps your mind involved.
Totally. The exercises challenge your body and your mind. They actively promote mental agility, heighten body awareness. Plus, the material mentioned good instructors use creative cues, imagery. Keeps things interesting.
And it's adaptable, like you said, so sessions can vary.
Exactly. Less chance of getting bored when things can change.
All right, and the last of the 10 myths we pulled from one source, that Pilates is only done on the mat and the reformer.
Right, we touched on this a bit with the equipment myth. While the mat and reformer are definitely the most well-known.
The ones you see most often.
Yeah, but the materials showed Joseph Pilates actually designed exercises for a whole range of apparatus. Things like the tower, the Cadillac, the Wunda chair, ladder barrel, spine corrector.
Wow, okay. Lots more.
Yeah, quite a system. And each piece offers different benefits, different challenges, different ways to assist the body. It allows for a much more diverse, comprehensive practice that can be really deeply tailored to what someone needs or wants.
Okay, so that covers the 10 main myths highlighted in the material. And it seems like, looking across all the sources you sent, the message is pretty consistent. These common ideas are largely off base.
Definitely.
They paint a picture of Pilates as something much more versatile, more challenging, and way more comprehensive than many people assume.
It really does feel like the journey through those myths confirms that. Pilates is this adaptable, challenging, incredibly effective, full-body method, rooted in that core principle of contrology.
Right.
And it's genuinely accessible to everyone. Doesn't matter your gender, age, current fitness. The material supports this wide range of benefits, physical, mental, even broader physiological ones.
It's clearly much more than just stretching or basic rehab, even though it's good for those too.
Absolutely. And beyond just busting the myths, the sources detailed a whole host of documented benefits, often backed by research. We're talking improved core strength, obviously.
Better posture, less back pain definitely came up.
Injury prevention by helping balance out muscle groups.
Enhanced body awareness for sure. And also decreased stress, improved mood through endorphins and focus.
Yes. And digging a bit deeper, the material mentioned potential benefits like reduced menstrual pain, which was interesting, improved balance and gait.
Good for stability.
Yeah. Boosted immune response, even enhanced cognitive function, things like memory and motivation. Improved sexual function, partly linked to strengthening the pelvic floor.
Okay, that makes sense.
And significant improvements in sports performance. They even noted potential help for conditions like osteoporosis and osteoarthritis, and better sleep quality.
That is a much, much broader scope of benefits than just tone your abs or get flexible.
Absolutely. It really speaks to the method's holistic view. The whole body, its systems, the mind-body link. It's not just about looking good, it's about functional health, overall well-being.
One point the material also touched on, kind of separate from the abs myth but related, was weight loss. What was the take there?
Yeah, good question. The sources indicated that while Pilates can definitely play a role, it can help reduce BMI, body weight, body fat percentage, especially maybe for people carrying extra weight. And improved posture can certainly make you look taller and leaner.
Creates that illusion sometimes.
Right. But it wasn't really presented as a standalone weight loss miracle cure.
So it's not a magic bullet for dropping lots of pounds on its own.
No. The material suggests it's most effective for weight goals when it's part of a bigger picture. A healthy lifestyle that includes other things like cardio, getting enough sleep, managing stress.
And diet, presumably.
And crucially, maintaining a caloric deficit through diet. So Pilates is a powerful component of a healthy lifestyle aimed at weight goals, but it's not positioned as the only factor, or even the main one.
That makes sense. It also sounds like, based on everything we've read, finding the right instruction is super important, especially if you have specific needs.
Critically important. Yeah, the material really hammered this point home. For Pilates to be truly effective and safe.
Safety first.
Always. Especially for people with existing injuries, or during big life changes like pregnancy or postpartum. You really need a qualified instructor.
Someone who knows what they're doing with those specific situations.
Exactly. Someone with specific experience who knows how to modify exercises safely and effectively for your individual body, your needs. Even for seniors or people with conditions like arthritis or diabetes, modifications are totally possible and beneficial, but you need that knowledgeable guidance.
So, okay, after diving deep into all this material you shared with us, it's really crystal clear that Pilates is far from this limited, easy, maybe equipment-only practice that many people might think it is.
Yeah, the journey through those myths definitely clarified that. It's versatile, it's challenging, it's incredibly effective. A true full-body method grounded in contrology.
And for everyone.
Accessible to pretty much everyone regardless of gender, age, fitness level. And it offers this huge array of benefits, physical, mental, physiological, all supported by the material we explored. Way more than just stretching or rehab.
Although good at those too. And while it can definitely support body composition goals, the benefits really extend way beyond that, impacting overall health and function.
And finding that qualified instructor, paramount for safety and effectiveness, especially with specific needs. The sources were really strong on that.
Right, so for you listening, what does understanding all this actually mean? Maybe it challenges some ideas you had about Pilates. Perhaps it opens up a new possibility for your own fitness path now that you have a clearer view of what it really involves, who it's for, and just the sheer breadth of benefits.
And here's maybe a final thought to chew on. The material consistently suggested that consistency is really the key. That's how you unlock that full range of benefits we talked about.
Right, the physical stuff like posture, flexibility, balance.
But also the increased energy, stress reduction, better mood, those cognitive boosts, even the sexual function benefits. One source specifically recommended aiming for 2 to 3 times a week for the best results.
Okay.
So how does knowing the full potential of Pilates, everything it really offers the body and mind, how does that influence your perspective on maybe committing to a regular practice? Is it something you might view differently now?